The sky over Yas Marina is a deep, bruised purple. Max Verstappen's Red Bull alongside Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, wide, slow push-in under the lights. The floodlights paint the track in a brilliant, artificial glare. Two cars slice through the desert air, their engines a piercing scream against the near-silent crowd. One car, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, is right on the tail of the other, the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. For 57 laps, Hamilton has led. For 57 laps, he has masterfully controlled the pace. Now there is only one lap left. This is it. This is for the World Championship. A voice crackles over the Red Bull radio. It is clear and urgent.
Max, you are the world champion.
But he is not. Not yet. The race is still live. He must make the pass. Steel Speed Sweat are about to meet on one critical corner. But to understand the sheer magnitude of this final lap, we must go back. Before this final race in Abu Dhabi, the championship situation was a statistician's dream and a team principal's nightmare. After 21 grueling races across 4 continents, the two title contenders were level on points. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, 369.5 points each. It was a perfect deadlock, not seen in Formula One for nearly half a century. The math was brutally simple. Whoever finished ahead of the other would be crowned world champion. There were no complex calculations, no permutations to consider. It was a straight fight, a direct duel to the finish line. The tension was palpable, hanging heavy in the air of the paddock. This incredible parity was the result of a season defined by swings of momentum. One weekend, Mercedes Hamilton and the Silver Arrow would seem untouchable. The next, Red Bull and Verstappen would strike back with raw pace. They had traded victories and fastest laps, clashed on track in Silverstone, Monza, and pushed each other to the absolute limit. At the heart of this epic battle were two drivers who could not be more different, yet perfectly matched on the track. Lewis Hamilton, reigning 7-time world champion. The statistical giant of the sport, holding records for the most wins, pole positions, podium finishes. His driving style, silky smoothness and ruthless precision, incredible consistency and tire management, a calm demeanor under immense pressure, a global icon, a knight of the realm, racing not just to win an 8th title, but to cement his status as the greatest of all time. Max Verstappen, the prodigy from the Netherlands for Red Bull, the face of a new generation, breathtaking natural talent, a take-no-prisoners approach to racing, aggressive, instinctive, electrifying, extracting the absolute maximum from his car, often appearing to defy physics, racing with his heart on his sleeve, fueling the orange army of fans. The stakes for this one race were astronomical. It was everything on the line. For Lewis Hamilton, an 8th world championship would be a monumental achievement. It would move him clear of the legendary Michael Schumacher, making him, by the numbers, the most successful driver in Formula One. The crowning glory of a spectacular career. For Mercedes, an 8th consecutive Constructors' Championship, a continuation of unprecedented dominance. A victory would validate their engineering prowess. A victory would validate their team synergy. This was not just another trophy. It was a chance to etch their names into motorsport immortality. For Max Verstappen, a maiden world championship, the realization of a lifelong dream. For Red Bull Racing, the culmination of a decade of work, a chance to dethrone Mercedes and reclaim the championship last won in 2013. A win would signal a changing of the guard, the dawn of a new era. Beyond prizes, the outcome could shape the future of the sport. The season had brought a massive new audience to Formula One. The raw drama, the compelling characters. The finish would be the story echoed around the world. A controversial finish could spark debates about rules and regulations. All their efforts came down to this single afternoon in the desert. Qualifying on Saturday was a tense and, fascinating tactical battle. It set the stage for the drama that would unfold on race day. In the final session, Q3, where the top 10 drivers fight for pole position, Red Bull played a strategic masterstroke. They sent out Verstappen's teammate, Sergio Perez, ahead of him on the track. Perez deliberately punched a hole in the air, allowing Verstappen to get a tow down the long straights. This slipstream effect gave the Red Bull a crucial straight-line speed advantage, a perfectly executed piece of teamwork. It was a clear signal that Red Bull was willing to use every tool at their disposal to gain an edge. Max Verstappen seized the opportunity with both hands. He delivered a stunning lap, a blistering time of 1 minute and 22.109 seconds. It was a lap of pure commitment, right on the ragged edge of control. As he crossed the line, his engineer came on the radio, his voice filled with admiration, calling it an absolutely insane lap. Absolutely insane lap. The Red Bull garage erupted in cheers. Verstappen had secured the all-important pole position, giving him the advantage of starting from the front of the grid. However, there was a crucial silver lining for Mercedes. Race day in Abu Dhabi was thick with anticipation. The sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, casting long shadows across the Yas Marina circuit. The grandstands were a sea of orange and silver, a vibrant testament to the divided loyalties of the fans. As the drivers completed their formation lap and lined up on the grid, a hush fell over the circuit. The hum of the engines was the only sound. This was the moment. 21 races of brutal competition had led to this single start. Every driver, every mechanic, every fan knew the first few seconds could be decisive. The red lights began to come on, one by one. All 5 glowed, and then they went out. Lewis Hamilton made a phenomenal start. His reaction time was perfect, and his medium tires hooked up beautifully, giving him incredible traction off the line. He rocketed past a sluggish Max Verstappen before they had even reached the first corner. It was a dream start for Mercedes and a disastrous one for Red Bull. Hamilton seized the lead, his silver car immediately beginning to pull a small gap. Verstappen, on his soft tires, was now the chaser. He had lost the crucial advantage of pole position within a matter of seconds. Verstappen, desperate to reclaim the lead, launched a daring move down the inside at the end of the long straight. He braked late and dived for the apex. Hamilton, seeing the move coming, took evasive action, going off the track to avoid a collision. He cut the chicane and rejoined the circuit, still in the lead. The Red Bull radio lit up immediately.
He has to give the position back!
The stewards, however, reviewed the incident and decided no investigation was necessary, ruling that Hamilton had slowed down enough to negate any advantage gained. The decision was made. Hamilton kept the lead. With the early drama behind them, the race settled into a tense rhythm. He used his experience and the durability of his medium tires to slowly but surely build a gap to Verstappen. Their initial strategy was not working. They needed to find another way. As the race moved into its middle phase, it became a high-stakes game of chess played out at 200 miles per hour. With Hamilton extending his lead, Red Bull knew they had to act. They blinked first, calling Verstappen into the pits on lap 14 for a fresh set of hard tires. The pit stop was lightning fast. The plan was to undercut Hamilton, using the pace of fresh tires to gain time. Mercedes responded immediately. The 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix changed Formula One forever. Final dramatic, deeply controversial, a late crash by Nicholas Latifi brought out the safety car, erasing Hamilton's commanding lead. What happened next sparked a firestorm of debate. The race director initially ruled lapped cars would not unlap themselves. That would have made a final lap restart almost impossible for Verstappen. Then, in a stunning reversal, only the 5 cars between the 2 rivals were allowed to unlap. That set up a one-lap shootout for the World Championship. The unprecedented application of the rules created the dramatic climax. It also left a bitter taste for many.
No, Mikey. No, that was so not right.
Beyond the controversy, the race delivered a narrative that transcended the sport. Max Verstappen crossed the line to become world champion. Lewis Hamilton, in defeat, showed immense grace. The race was triumph and heartbreak, a clash of titans.